Hi, welcome. It's a pleasure to join with you as we prepare for the high holidays and consider the great treasure of our high holiday liturgy. And to help me do this, we're blessed to have Chazan Elizabeth Berkey and Chazan Alberto Mizrahi. Thanks for joining me. Shema Koleinu is one of the highlights of the Yom Kippur liturgy. And it's interesting because when Jews hear the word Shema, we're often thinking about Shema Yisrael, the prayer we say twice daily, which is really a Jewish pledge of allegiance about monotheism and our belief system. But Shema Koleinu isn't addressed to the household of Israel like Shema Yisrael. This is addressed to God. Hear our voice. Listen to us. Attune your ear to us. And the prayer starts in such a grand manner, but then it moves to this personal, vulnerable state that we all find ourselves in. As a Chazan, Liz, how do you experience that?
Well, I had a teacher, Cantor Max Wolberg, Zichrono Livracha.
Great man, great Chazan.
Wonderful.
My teacher too.
Yeah. And he always said, the best improvisation is one that's written down. And in this particular setting that we use, the Helfman, I can think of no better way to express this text. Shema Koleinu, you know, with the big, I mean, it's visceral. This is what prayer boils down to. Hear our voice. I mean, it's simple, but it's majestic. And I could find no better way to sing that text than how Helfman has expressed it in
So you have this
music.
grand moment, but you also then you have this intimacy.
Yes, it gets very quiet in the setting, and it just I don't know. It's perfection to me. His setting, it really is. It's a beautiful expression of these words that are just our most simple expressions. God, hear me. This is, have mercy on me. This is my prayer, but this is our prayer, but it's very intimate.
Then it moves to Al Tashlichenu, which I get the chills even saying it. Don't cast us away. Alberto, we're living in a COVID-19 universe. How do you imagine that you're going to feel chanting those words this year?
I've dropped more tears with Al Tashlichenu Le'et Zikna. I'm crying now saying it. It's first of all, the words are perfect. Please don't forget us. Don't leave us in the street as we grow old. I mean, Al Tashli.
In the time of our old age.
In the time of our old age, yes, Le'et Zikna. And obviously, I mean that. How can you have a better prayer when you have this COVID thing going on than to say, please don't leave us alone in our old age. It's very interesting that the Helfman, which is one of the most beautiful pieces ever written, starts with this grand Shema Koleinu, and then he goes to this beautiful stuff. If you've been a chazan for 50 years, you've done a number of these until you come to the point that you say, I'm going to combine this and that, because I combine the Greenberg after the beginning with Helfman, and there, instead of Shema, you have Shema Koleinu, which is like, oh, please hear our voice. It's coming from the depth of your gut. And I have a hard time sometimes. I do the Helfman because the rabbi loves it, and I do too. But when I want to, because we do it more than once, obviously, over the holiday. So when I get the feeling that I said, I just want to let it come from inside. Mm-hmm. I do the softer parts.
But the prayer ends in a really interesting way. And one of the things that you've taught me is the differences between the Ashkenazic tradition and the Sephardic tradition when
Yeah.
it comes to the conclusion of the prayer.
Yeah, it's the last few words of Shema Koleinu. So we say it's different. Receive in mercy and willingness, which is part of the Ashkenazic. Yes. So utkabel berachamim uvratzon et tfilatenu. In mercy and willingness, please listen to our prayers. The Sephardim add something, and they say, receive in mercy and willingness the prayers of every mouth of Israel in mercy. So it's asked, why do you have to say every mouth? What does that mean? And I think it was Rabbi Soloveitchik, or someone equally great, I forget sometimes. He says, even if we only recite our prayers with our mouths and not with our heart, we may not even mean it at the time that we're saying it, God will still listen with mercy.
Or we may not fully appreciate those words. And I find that as I get older, the words speak to me differently than they spoke to me at a different age.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And I think that's such a beautiful idea that we say the words in the hope that we'll fully appreciate them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's important to say the words.
Don't you feel that that goes for all of the high holidays?
I think
Every
fair in
word
general,
ever
yeah.
written, every word ever sung. If you have it within your heart, then you're a real chacham and you're a tzaddik. Yeah. How many people are tzaddikim, and how many people have studied it, the whole entire book, the whole thing? And the answer is, just say the words. Keep saying the words, because
Shema Koleinu.
Shema Koleinu. Hear our words.
Hear our voices.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's hear it.
Okay.
ברחמים וברצון את תפילתנו. השיבנו אדוני אליך, השיבנו אליך ונשובה, חדש ימינו, ימינו. קבל ברחמים, ברחמים וברצון את תפילתנו